out there on the T-hangers.
But that would still fall into that same thing, they still have a renewal, they still have that.
Sure, it does. The amount that they charge, it's half of this.
Which is why I was saying about leaving the line blank, because you'd fill it in based upon the current rate. Because all of our leases always just have a blank and you fill it in, because all of a sudden, like 6 months from now, when you have a new lease, you might find that the electric has tripled, and anybody new at that point, you have to fill in the new one, and you don't want to wait and come back to the board. It's always going to be, you're going to have to adjust it based upon expenses.
Yeah, I agree with that. It should be blank.
So we would leave that blank. So the rental charge blank. Okay.
So the yearly notice, rent due, that's gone too. July.
Yep.
No, take July out of there. You don't do that.
Right.
It's yearly calendar.
Leave in there the responsibility of the email address. Okay.
Number 5 seems fine.
Yeah, I put 5, 6, 7.
Yep, I agree.
No maintenance on number 8. Can we take 8 out entirely? Well, there needs to be something in there that the tenant needs to leave the building in good condition though. Okay.
Yeah, they can't just go on there and
Yeah.
rip out the walls. I mean,
Can't you just take that out there and just say, any alterations done by while you're renting this has to be approved by the airport commission? Something like that.
Yeah.
being they're in common area, is there anything that's said to damages caused that doesn't hold us liable for everybody else in the building? I mean, it is a communal property type of scenario.
So what would happen if they're on fire and one of the hangers is destroyed?
I have a copy of our insurance policy. I'll be looking at that one.
Well, the thing is, it's the airport structure, not so much the individual structure. So if it's an individual structure, then I guess somebody would come after me if my hangar blew apart and knocked over Dave's.
Yeah, but those are individual hangars, but these are community owned, so.
Let's see if we can come back to that one after he reads it. So, the right to inspect number 9. I think that's good.
Yep.
Number 10.
They don't pay taxes, do they?
No, but assessments, so the stormwater runoff and anything that might come up in the future.
Right.
That's good.
Yeah, assess taxes or assessments. It wouldn't be lands leased.
Right.
Structure.
I thought we specifically called out stormwater in one of these. 'Cause you had that, we talked about that with the lawyer. So if that's covered already.
That'd be taxes or assessments.
I swear there's another one you had the stormwater called out specifically.
We discussed it, I'm not sure that would. But because we wanted to keep open the option.
Yeah, we were gonna move it.
Fees came in that we were unaware.
Yeah, and then we pulled back on it saying don't do it, so. But I think in that block, we should call it stormwater specifically.
You could say stormwater specifically, whatever that one's called, Dave, but then we need to leave it something open in case something different comes up besides stormwater.
Yeah, because it'd be taxes or assessments, that's why I think we just left it at
Was that stormwater assessment?
that. Yes.
Okay.
We talked about it's too fearful to leave it wide open, because you don't know what the next group might do. We discussed
That's true,
that.
yeah.
And it is only a 2-year lease, so it's not that big of a jump in here. If something gets added, you can revise the lease going forward.
Number 13, I don't think we need that.
Also 11 signs, are we good with that?
Yeah.
Number 12.
Don't get a lot to it.
13 would be, I think we'd strike it from there.
Yeah, we just spent how about 13F?
Need 12F? 12F should be
12F,
gone,
yeah.
So
Don't really need it,
But
but
they're not doing improvements on their own building. That should be gone, right?
And of course, it'll be re-lettered.
And 13 should be gone.
Yep.
What do the hangar renters do for snow removal and grass cutting?
So grass cutting, I get about like within a foot, so they really don't have to do much. If they want it closer than that, get your own lawnmower. Snow removal, we just plow the taxiway like that one. It's too much to try to,
So we can keep 14
we can
as-
keep it the same.
So we would get rid of the grass portion of number 14.
They really don't have much grass around them.
Right, but we don't.
Said I ain't that worried about it. Leave it in or take it away.
Well, if you leave it in there.
I'm
and-
not weed whacking around the building, so I'll
Yeah.
tell you that.
So if we left that in there.
That's enough.
Okay.
Just leave it in there, and like I said, I'll do my best. So we talked about the lease transfer
no, cut the
earlier.
grass, take grass cutting out of there, because it could be ambiguous down the road. Where all of a sudden, kind of like, well, I don't mention it, but, someone might decide not to mow it, and then they're gonna start charging the TA owners in violation of not mowing the lawn, when they're not supposed to be mowing it, or weren't obligated to mow it. So it should be
You
taken
can
out.
take it out if you want, I mean, we gotta leave the snow in though.
Okay, take out the grass cutting.
If I hear complaints that the grass is too tall next to their door, I'm gonna
Get
be
them
mad.
out themselves.
Just tell me.
Yeah.
Number
It'll be
15,
like, ask John, he'll help you.
number 15, lease transfer.
Like I said, we were talking about that in the previous pages, 'cause I see that's already covered in here where we said non-transferable. That was back on, on terms. So we could probably take it back away out of 3, and just leave this
So
header
just
in
leave
there.
15 stand.
Yeah.
Number 16.
I think you could leave it in there, because let's just say they were gonna move the T hanger, you can't kick everybody out and not give them a place to go. So it's applicable, I think. It can be left in there.
Well, in Milwaukee, they're actually condemning the hangars, and they gave everybody 6 months to move.
And nowhere to go.
Cost, yeah.
Now, how many people that affect?
That was 5, 10 plexes.
Yeah, wow.
That was a bunch.
What airport?
At Milwaukee Mitchell, then they're actually taking those hangars back again. So, okay, 16 we'll leave,
Yeah,
17. Furthermore, this lease may be amended or included. I like that. I'd almost leave it the way it is.
Number 17?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's, leave it the way it is.
Okay, 18,
Standard stuff.
Yeah, leave it.
19 for the fuel.
That's good.
I don't know, do you want them storing fuel in their hangars? I would just say no fuel in their hangar.
Yeah, that's what it was supposed to be, no fuel in the hangars. I say take, put in there no fuel, I forgot how it was worded in the old lease. And no storing of, fuel in there either, even in 5-gallon cans.
What do you do if they have a tractor or a lawnmower?
That's not storing, it's in a tank, in the tractor or lawnmower, but it,
But if they have a 5-gallon tank to fill up the tractor or lawnmower, I mean, that's getting kind of petty.
that is, but that was what the other one, I thought it said that no storing of fuels in the hangars.
So those guys that have like those power parachutes that have the 2-cycle fuel, that's not something that's provided on the airport, which is part of,
Yeah, you got a point there on that one, but even the little ultralights are 2-cycle also.
What if you just took the paragraph out? Fuel, just don't say anything.
Yeah, I think that's your best bet, don't say anything. Because you could probably even go to the clubhouse and find a can over there. You never know.
I would think if somebody wanted to put in a fuel tank of some capacity for their own fuel, they would come to us for approval before they would do something like that.
there was a certain amount before the fire department would get involved, but then they'd have to be notified of that.
That's why I say if you don't put anything there, then they have to ask a question, right? I don't know, just,
I mean, the other thing you gotta ask yourself, propane is a fuel too. So I mean, you're really getting to a sketchy area here of what's stored where.
Yeah, so if you had a 20-gallon thing of LP and it's gonna be for a grill, and that's not part of this line here.
I'd say just remove it completely.
Okay.
I think that's part of that right to inspect. If you see somebody with a big diesel fuel cow over there, maybe we should do something about it.
So Bob, what did you find out in your cruise there?
I hadn't found anything on it.
So the questions I have is what are our obligations for, is it clearly stated that the leases are void if the building becomes destroyed? Or are we obligated at some point to provide hangar?
Good point.
I mean, it could be a natural disaster as well as.
Yeah, tornado or something coming through, yeah.
And they've already paid their rent, and they
Right.
say, again, I'm going upon my experience with the residential area, that if there's damage to the building, that's where renter's insurance come in. I'm not responsible for paying for their goods or anything in there. So if a tornado takes a roof or there's a fire, our insurance covers the building, but not their property. And so if they prepaid for the duration of the lease, obviously you'd have to refund the money, but how is that written anywhere?
But you're not, I didn't see it in here at all.
I think we had that in that other one, because we talked about it actually called out requiring insurance. But then when we thought about it, we just recommend it. That's the price of it.
But it isn't just.
Yeah, oh, this point is now liability, yes.
Well, it's not just liability, it's the fact that we've essentially contracted for the duration of the lease to provide cover for these people's airplanes. And then all of a sudden, we have no fault of our own, we can't.
Yeah.
That's actually could be a big one. I wonder if I'll have to get with the town attorney on that for,
I think we probably should just
so maybe what we can
some
do.
verbiage to make, to cancel the lease in some certain circumstances.
Okay.
Can't you require them to give you a certificate of insurance for liability?
They're supposed
So if they cause a problem, you've got somebody to go back to?
But reconstruction can still take months and months. to be found out.
Yeah, but doesn't that come under that category force
Maybe
majeure,
you need to
something
have
beyond your
this in your
control?
hand when you talk to the attorney.
I don't think.
Thank you.
Like I said, I know that there's been contracts and business out there as far as getting supplies, but if it's something that's beyond their undue control, they'll just claim force majeure and break the contract. Yeah, I don't know if that would go to the property wise like that, but if you have no place to put them, you have no means to do it, how can you fulfill that requirement?
Let's do this in regards to that. I think we're gonna have to have a special meeting after I talk to the attorney, and we might have another lease option presented in a week or in a, let's say, a month.
Right.
So because it'll take some, I'll type this up, I'll send it to the attorney, and then I'll ask him these questions, and then we'll get back, and so we won't vote on it tonight to ratify it, we just,
Hey, Dave, how about number 7, the hold harmless, maybe you added in there something about if something
There you
happens
go.
to the building, we're not responsible for giving them a place to stay or whatever.
which is kind of what you're.
Yeah, or just say we're not responsible for the goods that are inside the building.
That, I think that's already in there, but it's, because somewhere here we said that the airport will provide a lease if for some reason we take this lease down and move it. Just say we want to do a runway there instead. So we're supposed to come up with a new hangar for whoever's over there. All right, so we're obligated to do that, but if a tornado came along and wiped out the building, we have nowhere to put them, and it wasn't in the plans.
It's not the same as what the ADA.
Right, that's what I'm saying, that's going to the hold harmless
Right.
type of category, where natural disaster, whatever, we're not responsible for getting a hangar.
Fire, natural
We may not
disaster,
even
flooding.
build new hangars after the tornado or something came through, we may just say, scrub it, don't build them.
You might want to raise that question to the insurance guy first before you start the meter for the attorney.
Yeah, to see what they actually call out, what our coverage goes for.
His rates per hour, I'm sure, are a lot less.
I mean, I think the renter's insurance would have to come in because you don't have valuation of everybody's property that's inside there.
Right. Everybody else that rents anything has their own insurance.
Yeah.
Good point. Okay, going back to the witness and all that other stuff, is anything about that portion, the day, the year, agree to the terms above? Hangar area lease would
Maybe
be,
we should put right down where it says the name, all the stuff, their email address, their phone number, and some kind of physical address. Just so it's right on the lease right from the beginning.
I think all of that, couldn't that be just a separate document before they get this like that?
It could be, but then
Maybe you just
this won't
call
go
it-
in effect until we have that information though.
it wouldn't hurt to put it also in there, could we just put that in email, the phone number?
I think a physical address too though.
Okay,
So you know where to mail them, and you get the mail subpoena or something.
okay.
No
Now,
construction
just a
code.
question, just, you know, for the lesser name, do you want that to be me?
I would think so, the airport manager,
Okay, just asking.
right?
Yeah, airport manager, yeah, Bob Zarell, airport manager.
Well, you'd have to have his airport manager. Well, Bob stays on for a while, but we'll have to redo the lease on that.
Maybe instead of saying lesser name, you can just say airport manager instead of lesser name. Just say airport manager.
Yeah.
Simplify it, won't it?
Unless, of course, the airport manager's not there, and then Chris on the commission has to do it, or have to have a proxy or something.
How about authorized representative?
I like that, authorized representative.
There you go.
You're authorized. Okay. And the title would still be in there, that'd be airport manager or something. Okay, we got rid of the airport hangar construction code, all of that. Okay. We're good for all that? There's nothing really to vote on with this, I'll just bring it and have it all typed up and we'll send it back out. To set the future meeting date, assuming that can we do two things? Can we set the quarterly, which would be in November, but I'd like to maybe do one 2 weeks from now, 3 weeks from now. Because then by that time, I'll get with Bob and see if we can hammer out the parking and, the tie down.
Okay, yep.
And then we can have this and we'll send this out for everybody's perusal.
So this is the third quarter meeting.
Yes.
When does fourth quarter start? Maybe we can kill two birds if we're efficient.
Oh, you're saying November?
But that's kind of a long way down the
Yeah,
road, because if we get a,
Oh, you're trying to hit it early? I thought it would be right after the 31st instead of 4th.
which would be
So
fine,
October.
first one, yeah.
Yeah.
right,
Why don't we do that?
because then we'd probably maybe have some lease with the, another lease to review.
Oh, okay. So you want to do special?
Right. But if we do the regular quarterly after the first, we can do two things at once, like you said. And if it becomes necessary to have that lease ratified for the town, then we can do a special, but otherwise we'll carry over the stuff for the EMS and put it on the next agenda. And we'll work on that one.
And all that'll be for the fourth quarter,
That'll be for the fourth quarter,
which will be
yeah.
after October 1st.
Right.
So are we scheduling a special meeting now? Or we're just gonna go- let's just do
No, we're just gonna go with the fourth quarter
Fourth
one, that's
quarter.
close enough, right, Lou? Is that what
Okay,
you
that's
think?
fine.
Okay.
Schedule one if we need it.
Okay.
Yeah, because if we need it, then we'll go ahead and look at it, but. So October 3rd would be a Monday, 3rd, 10th, 17th, 24th. October 3rd.
That's fine with me.
Larry, when is the town meetings?
Second Monday.
That'd be the 10th? There's this.
It'd be the 10th.
Okay, so we can move the 3rd. Bob? Chris? Bob? When are you heading out of town, Bob? When are you heading out of town?
I'm gonna be gone, I think I can make it.
Because we wouldn't have any updates for the delinquency or anything like that we talked about until next year. Okay, so I'd like to see if we can set the next quarterly, the fourth quarterly, for October 3rd at 6:30.
6:30, October 3rd.
Okay. We have to have a motion on that, or just set it?
I'll make a motion to have it October 3rd at 6:30 PM.
Second?
Seconded.
Chris, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None. So carried. Okay, so that's the meeting date. We have a motion to adjourn. Is there
I
anything
so
else?
move.
Okay.
I'll second.
Okay. All in favor of adjourning?
Aye.
Okay. Opposed? Okay, we're adjourned.